My son had a lot of struggles in school, and it was because he had learning disabilities in three areas: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Toward the end, I guess, of elementary school, he was saying, "Mom, am I really stupid or what?" And I said, "No, you're not stupid. You just have to find the way to learn." Well, if I can make a way to show people that there is a pathway, there is a way a journey that you can get to the point where you feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, you're going to start reaching out to positive people and doing positive things. And it's just going to keep on a roll for you.
Your journey in life, it's all about getting to know who you are, your place in this world, and the gift that you possess. But finding that out in the journey to that can be a whole lifetime. My next guest, Janet Schmidt, wrote a whole book about supporting you on how to become aware of yourself and move forward in your journey in life. Janet, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Maureen. I'm really glad to be here.
Me too. Okay, so first, congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
Okay, the book, Journey to Self-Awareness. That just like really only just one of the chapters of the book. The book, who is the book for, and why did you write the book?
I'll start with why I wrote the book. My son had a lot of struggles in school, and it was because he had learning disabilities in three areas: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Go figure. So he struggled a lot. And at the end of, toward the, not the end, but toward the end, I guess, of elementary school, he was saying, "Mom, am I really stupid or what?" And I said, "No, you're not stupid. You just have to find the way to learn."
Okay.
I said, "You learn different than other people. And so we have to find the way you learn." And so he just got really, really upset because people would call him stupid. You don't know anything and stuff like that in school. So we told him we were going to help him. And my husband and we got to talking about it and said, "Well, what can we do to make him feel better about himself and give him some self-esteem or give him some kind of support to support himself?" Well, my husband said, "Well, what's the most important thing in life?" I said, "Love." He said, "That's right." He said, "So can we do maybe a chart with steps on how certain things you have to acquire, skills or whatever you want to call them, traits or whatever, to get to that point where there is self-love and love of others?" And I said, "That's a good idea because that's non-threatening. That's not like saying, okay, you have to get this, this, and this done or whatever. It's saying, here's the things that has to happen so you can get to self-love or loving other people."
So this book, and so I love that, stepping back, just simply that's everything in a nutshell. If you have love for others and love for yourself, you can accomplish anything.
That's what we believe, yes.
Yeah. So
And as a matter of fact, let me tell you a little bit of the miracle of him. So we went through this. He did graduate from high school, thank goodness. I told him, "I want to go up there with you." And he said, "No, mother. No, mother. You can't." So he went on and he had a job. He had a job where he was actually like assistant manager at a restaurant or something. And here he is using math. He's multiplying, he's dividing, he's whatever he needs to do to figure out how to get the food served to four people or whatever it is, how to get the order right. And he learned a lot from that job. But he also learned that he could do it.
yeah.
He put his mind to it. And I was so proud of him. You know what he does now?
No, what does he do now?
He is a carpenter. Now, you know how many numbers are involved with that.
Yeah.
Always measuring, always trying to figure out how to make things fit best and all that kind of thing. Who knew?
So what you're saying is that it starts with the first thing that you accomplish, and then it builds from there.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, he calls himself, he's a carpenter, that's his title. But I don't think he said he wanted to be a carpenter. He took the job and he is a carpenter now.
What are some important skills and qualities individuals need to develop for personal growth and success?
Well, I think some of them are,
Breaking out the book. Go for it, Janet.
one of the things we talked about in the book was courtesy and respect. Well, two things. Courtesy is almost a lost art nowadays, in my opinion. People are not as nice to each other as they used to be. And I'm not talking just about words, I'm talking about your manner as well. And so I think courtesy is something that everybody should have as part of the respect that everybody deserves as an individual. Respect, you've heard people say those kids just don't have any respect. Look, they vandalized the cemetery or whatever they did. Well, if no one's there to teach you or show you what respect is and make you understand that you have to earn it in order to receive it, they don't understand. And they don't understand how that is kind of a grease in our society, the respect for other people.
See, the point that you make, and that's why one of the reasons we discussed earlier why you wrote the book, is that if people are not given the time and shown or have someone there to have put in the time, they don't have to put out in the world.
Well, think about it a minute, Maureen. Parents aren't as around as much as they used to. And I am not putting down parents at all. I do understand how hard it is to make a family run. Money, time, everything you have to put into it. I do understand that. And it's hard to balance it. But parents aren't not around as much. The schools are overloaded with disabled children and special needs and whatever else that's going on. Plus, you have the kids that are not gifted or who are learning disabled. And there's a gap there with all the kids that are doing okay. But once in a while, they'll fall through the cracks as well. So there's a lot of things to consider there.
How can individuals overcome self-doubt and fear of failure?
Okay. First of all, they need to understand that self-doubt and failure are normal. It's a normal part of life. You will have self-doubt and you will fail, but fail is a way to learn. So if you fail and you have someone around who is generous enough of their time to explain to you what happened when you really don't understand what happened because your plan didn't work, or to help you say, okay, how can we make this failure a success? Some people, the people they remember in their life are a teacher, or maybe a boss. Someone I remember in my life was a first boss. My God, he was encouraging. He even made sure I got home okay, stuff like that. I felt truly supported in that job. And you know what? I'd do anything for him because of that.
So originally you wrote the book as when you realized that you were supporting and bringing your son forward when he wasn't necessarily getting what he needed from school, right?
Yeah.
So just to give the viewers a little insight to the book is really there's diagrams in it, there's self-help, and it brings you forward to self-awareness, self-reliance, self-love, hope. It brings you through our emotional building that brings us forward to a successful human being. Right?
Right.
Tell us about the intention behind the book and how the book came together. Because I know you, and this book took you from the time I knew you at least 4 years, if not before that. So how did it finally come to fruition and unfolding the way it did for each of the chapters? Because each chapter is significant.
Well, I did do some research, and there are citations in the book that show that. And some of them are pretty basic, like there are some psychologists in there mentioned. There's some historical figures in there mentioned and stuff. And I really got to thinking, okay, when you talk about, like, for respect, for example, what key things make that trait, like maybe your manner towards somebody, maybe how you treat somebody every day. It can be things like that. And so I got to thinking about that. And then I started doing an outline where for each trait, I'd put down what things made that up. And therefore, that's where you get those subtitles. Then I thought about, this is kind of an emotional book. I mean, I talk a lot about emotions. And I give a lot of anecdotes out of my own life of things that's happened to me to give them an example so that they don't feel like,
they're alone.
Where's she coming from with this? I don't get it. And yes, you know what? I thought at first, before I even thought about publishing it, I thought, this is probably too simple to publish. And then I got to thinking, no, it's not too simple because emotions are very complicated. And so I thought, well, if I can make a way to show people that there is a pathway, there is a way a journey that you can get to the point where you feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, you're going to start reaching out to positive people and doing positive things. And it's just going to keep on a roll for you. But, I've also met people in my lifetime that aren't that way. And they have a miserable life most of the time. And how do you tell them? Well, now I can say, here, read my book. But, how do you tell them in a nice way? Look, you got to quit focusing on the negative stuff. You got good stuff in your life. Do a gratitude journal. Do this, do that. Think about your life, where you want your life to go. A lot of people just go through life lost. And it's kind of sad because they have gifts too.
Everyone has gifts.
So then it's our loss too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're all interconnected. We're like a big chain. And if one link is broken, there's a gap there. We don't have everything we would have had.
Okay. No, I agree that. No, I know that there's generosity in the book and why you wrote that. So there's two other people you mentioned in the book. You mentioned your husband. You also mentioned Rebecca. What were the influences in the book, and who is the book for?
The book is for anyone who feels a desire to be more positive, more self-aware, to be able to look ahead instead of behind. Your past does make you, but your future can too. It just depends on your point of view. And that's the other thing too. There are life views out there. They make it difficult to move forward. I had a pretty bad one for a while. I was negative and very sad and thought everything was my fault and all that stuff you go through. And then I decided, well, wait a minute. Oh, can't be my fault. And number two, I can change. I can change my life if I want to. I don't have to be miserable unless that's what I really want to be, what I really choose to be.
So you're saying you have choice.
Yeah, you always have a choice.
Okay.
Always.
As a bestseller, what have you experienced from carrying around this idea of the book to now it's that you actually completed? How has your life changed? How have you changed now that you brought the book forward and you completed this?
Well, I had to go through every chapter myself.
Mm-hmm.
And in combination with the other things I'm doing to improve myself, it really helped. And I think I'm a much more positive, forward-looking individual. I think just about leaving my past behind. That takes some work, a lot of work, believe me, emotionally. But you have to go through the grief. You have to go through the emotional pain to heal. A lot of people don't realize that. They think, oh my God, I don't want no more pain. That's too much. And sometimes it is, like when you lose a child or something, that's very painful. But on the other hand, you have to think about what's important in your life and be grateful you had that child for the time you had and move forward somehow and make that child's life count in this world through you or whatever it is. But you have to have that pain.
You have to go.
I know pain, but you have to have it. You can't.
There's no going around it.
It'll come and get you again. I mean, if you put it underneath where it's out of sight, out of mind, it will kick you in the butt again. Somehow, something will happen in your life and it will get you again. So you've got to go through it. And you know what? Even I did that too. I mean, my daughter comes and says, Mom, do you remember this? I said, nope, because I have closed a lot of doors, good and bad together, that I don't remember stuff.
There's a lot of people hurting in the world, right?
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons you wrote the book.
Yes.
That if you were to say one thing to someone listening, what advice would you give them? I
would say the most important thing is to have compassion for yourself. Because if you don't have compassion and you can't forgive yourself that you made a mistake or whatever it is, I don't know how you're going to get your mindset to be positive and go forward. And you've got to do that self-care. I love myself enough. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to sleep when I need to. I'm going to do the things I like to do that brings me joy, all those kind of things. So it starts with you. Definitely. Okay. I believe. Okay.
And that truly resonates through the book, because the whole book is about self-exploration and coming to terms and bringing forward your awareness, joy, and love.
Yes.
Any people that to get the book, what would you like to say to them to get the book and now that it's out there?
I would like to say there's a time for everything. There's a time for you to take stock of your life or think about where you want to go in your life. And that's the time to read something like this, because it'll help you look at pieces of your life. You know, you may have all the traits, you just haven't quite put it together to get to that place, but it'll help you. It'll guide you. And then when you get to the life map part, which to me is the fun part, where you actually map out your past and then map out the future too, if you want. One of the sample maps in there is about what I want in a partner. And, you know, you just write all those things you want, but keep in mind that they can't make you 100% happy. Some of that depends on yourself. So you can't expect another person to do that. And they're going to have their own faults and things they struggle with. And you've got to accept them at where they're at. And I do believe in that part where I talk about relationship tips. That's where that is. You got to meet them where they're at.
Janet, how can people find the book, and how can they get in touch with you if they have questions?
They are
for us.
Well, I'll read the whole title of the book first. It's Journey to Self-Awareness, How to Accept, Celebrate, and Love Yourself.
There you go.
Yeah, how do you, yeah. How. And you can go to Amazon.com. They have it in 3 formats: electronic, paperback, and hardback.
We're going to make it easy. We'll have the link to the book below. And as the holidays are coming, right? And again, it's a time when people are continually getting caught up or getting isolated and lonely. Final thought. What would you say? I
would say if you've read my book or are reading my book and you know of someone lonely that lives in your neighborhood or somebody that you connect with once in a while, connect with them now. The holidays are hard. Yeah. Good things happen during the holidays and bad things happen during the holidays. And people have different reasons for liking them and not liking them. But I tell you what, they always appreciate a visit, and they always appreciate talking to somebody, because it gets pretty boring to talk to yourself all the time. And some people are shut in because they're not able to get out.
Yeah. So reach out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to hurt you.
No, there you go. And who knows? You might actually have some fun doing it too, right?
And you might actually make a good friend. You don't know.
Everybody, Janet Schmidt. Again, Journey to Self-Awareness. The link is below. And again, congratulations, my friend.
Let me give them my my Gmail address and they can contact me.
Okay.
JASCHMID as in dog T1258@gmail.com.
Okay, well, you'll send me that. I have it anyway, and we'll put that in as the 2 links in there. Again, congratulations, Janet.
Thank you.
And until next time, everybody.